My furball is in the game! I thought I was your furball! Do you make blades of ice on your arms? No. Ladies, gentlemen, and Monsties of all ages, Monster Hunter Stories 3 is right around the corner, and today I want to round up all of the known public info about Stories 3 before the release of the game coming up in a week. And while I'll be trying to round up all the important general stuff for anyone out of the loop, there will be a bit of a frontal focus on the newest reveals from the last couple of days, as just over 12 hours before this video went up, there was a Capcom Spotlight stream with Monster Hunter Stories 3 involved, and outside of that there was also a Monstie personality quiz released on the official website recently, which said that it would tell you which Monstie you should use in the game based on your personality, your answers to the questions. And two of the potential results through these are things that people thought were quite likely to be in the game anyways, but now fully confirmed because of this quiz of all things, are Lunagaron, the third of the three lords from Sunbreak, as the other two had already been confirmed for the game, and then also Goss Harag, one of my all-time favorite monsters, properly confirmed here as a Monstie with his stories model here as well. That said, for the actual spotlight and the reveals from that, we had this shot of combat against a Blanganga, so full confirmation of Blanganga in the game, and we had further Goss Harag confirmation in a blink and you miss it moment of Thea doing a kinship attack from the back of a Goss Harag for like a few frames, but you can easily tell that it's Thea riding Goss Harag if you pause at the right moment, and they also showed alternates for the other riders too. Korra riding a Garen Golem, Ogden riding a Plesioth surfing on its back for the kinship, and Gaul with a Seregios, and then Eleanor we already know has a Glavenus as her second Monstie from the most recent trailer we had too. The other new thing at the very tail end of this trailer was Rudy having a static electricity moment reminiscent of a certain other important cat in the Stories series, so you'll have to see what that might result in the full game. Beyond the launch trailer itself, they talked about a few bonuses for the game, including the save data linking rewards, which are a Stories layered outfit for Stories save data, Stories 2 layered outfit for Stories 2 save data, Kimura layered outfit for Rise save data, and then also the Hope outfit for Wild save data as well. They also showed this outfit for Rudy that you get for linking your Capcom ID to the game, and mentioned this free DLC available at release, the Golden Circlet accessory for character creation, and this layered outfit for Simon as well, which will also be free. Then the pre-order specific limited bonus is the Skyscale Queen layered armor set for Eleanor 2, and they also mentioned that when the game releases, there will be a sort of like anime trailer side tie-in thing where it will tell you stories within the world and about the characters, but stuff that won't be in the actual game, and it will be in an anime style, and that sounds really cool to me. Beyond that, they also updated the Stories 3 official website with a bit more information, including the full confirmation of Soul Seer Mizitsune, which was pretty much assumed because Mizitsune was known to be in the game, and we also knew that there was a slot after Mizitsune in the Monsterpedia that would likely be this, but now we have it fully just given to us by Capcom. Then we also have a new invasive monster confirmed on the website too, which is Invasive Plesioth, looking all gnarly and shiny, covered in barnacles, and I honestly just really like him visually. Moving a bit further back in time then, let's round up what we know. The story centers around our main character, the prince or princess of Azuria, based on your choice while making your character. As a child, we witness the birth of twin Rathalos, which is supposedly a portent of disaster in our kingdom. An execution was going to be held to remove one of the Rathalos, but the queen of the kingdom itself took the monster away. Skip ahead into the future a bit, and we are the captain of the Rangers, which is the squad of riders in charge of maintaining the ecosystem surrounding the kingdom, among other things in the region too. In the distance, there is the incoming threat of the crystal encroachment, a strange phenomenon sweeping the land, freezing monsters where they stand, forcing monsters to invade areas that are not their normal living environment, and completely destabilizing the ecosystem they wander into. In the background of this, there is a more human conflict at play as well, as the kingdom of Vermeil and our own kingdom of Azuria are at the brink of war, with various trailers showing clips of battle between soldiers and monsters on both sides fighting together, and that is the basics of what's going on here. We have 6 weapon types available as riders in this game. 5 of them are returning ones from the previous games in the form of the Greatsword, Hammer, Hunting Horn, Bow, and Gunlance, and then Longsword is new, replacing the Sword and Shield, which had previously been the second sharpness damage weapon. And that said, all of these weapons have been reworked at least in some way, if not major reworks all over the place. Like Hammer is now a stun and flinch focused weapon in a very meaningful way. This is possible because of the addition of the Wyvern Soul gauge to monsters. This is the gauge under a monster's health bar in every attack from monsters monsters, and every skill from riders will apply damage to that gauge. Hammer, uniquely unlike the other weapons, can apply damage to that gauge with its basic attacks as well. Not only these skills like other weapons, but also the basic attacks. Breaking the Wyvern Soul gauge will result in a flinch and fatigue state, which means that the monster will be likely to miss you, and if you reach a full break of the Wyvern Soul gauge, as some monsters do have multiple gauges of Wyvern Fell before they reach this point, but the full break gets you a topple, and then you can either do the new Synchro Rush mechanic for a big multi-attack from your whole squad at the same time that also significantly boosts your kinship, or you can not press anything and then have the monster knocked down for free critical hits on the next turn. You will always fight with battle allies, which also have their own Monstie and weapon choice, and using this system you can sort of shore up your own weaknesses with the strengths of the correct partner to match your playstyle. Fun fact about Stories 3 that's new, you can change the tendency of your battle ally manually, so you even have more control over where they hit, though none of these options is perfect and they all have their strengths and weaknesses and you might have to change it around depending on the fight, but it's awesome to have that option. Another thing with these side characters here, the battle allies that you have, the Rangers, is they also have side stories, which are unique pieces of content for them specifically, going through their own sort of a unique side of the world and what they actually focus on, and show you a little bit of their backstory and what they basically do for the Rangers, what their role is within the Rangers. As well, there are two new fight types in this game aside from the standard monster combat, which are feral monsters, which have crystals from the encroachment in their body. They tend to be dual element Monsties as well, which means that they will use a non-standard element for their species, and they have one body part marked as the proper feral part. Destroying the feral part weakens their feral attacks, which are the most dangerous parts of the fights, but if you hit that part at the wrong time, it will have a damage reflect type mechanic that punishes you, so you have to work out what time in the fight is safe to hit that part, and it's usually either when they are enraged or aren't enraged. It's one of the two. Then the other new type is one of my favorite parts of Story 3 so far, which is invasive monsters. These we can't show too much of this early, but they essentially function as much like puzzles as they do like battles, where there is some sort of thing that you have to do to end the fight, and while you are going through the normal turn-based loop, the win condition is something that you have to actually work out and then correctly pull off in the moment. It's a really satisfying deviation from the normal fights, but I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here talking about what I like instead of just what's in the game, so to refocus myself a bit, this directly ties into endangered species and the habitat restoration system. Defeating an invasive monster gives you access to an endangered monster egg. This is an egg for a species that you otherwise cannot find in the game. You can then release the endangered Monstie into the wild to populate an area with that species, and this extends beyond endangered species too for the habitat restoration system in general. Through this system, as you release Monsties of the same species, you will raise its rank in the area, which makes its eggs be higher quality and in theory more common in that area too. And it also makes that monster spawn in the region in general, just in the overworld if you wanted to fight it and maybe farm it for materials. As well, if a Monstie's rank is high enough in a habitat, it will have a chance of taking on the element of that area because every area has its own element attributed to it. Early examples that I use are putting a Chotacabra in a thunder zone to make Thunder Chotacabra, or putting Garangolm in a water area to make Water Garangolm. And I love that they have brought back the element changing Monsties properly as it was sort of in Stories 1, and then they reduced it a lot in Stories 2, but now it's actually like so much intrinsically attached to the game mechanics, like the actual ecological explanations behind it. It's just so deeply rooted into the game, and I love that. Beyond that, this can also unlock mutations, which are things like subspecies or rare species, deviant versions of monsters that are also unlocked through the habitat restoration system when you meet certain conditions, releasing them into different areas. And beyond that, each overarching region has its own unique skills and stats. There's a system called excursions that lets you mix and match these a little bit. You can't stack more than 3 egg skills or more than 2 bonus stats on a Monstie, but you can mix an egg skill from one region with an egg skill from another with the system. And this is the simplest way of explaining it, really. The other main way to adjust already existing Monsties is the right of channeling confirmed to return in this game, and it's way more convenient than it has been in the past, as you can choose the gene that you want from a list without having to search one Monstie at a time, and you can ask that list to show you where a gene came from too. If it is one that you're capable of finding but you do not yet possess, it can show you where you can get it, so you can hunt it down to get your perfect Monstie, knowing exactly where to go and what you want. As for the Monsties themselves, there is a whole topic in itself, especially as a lot of them also have known footage of their kinship attacks that you might be interested in too, and so for this part I point you towards this video that we just put out a few days ago with all of the known Monsties and kinships up until that point, and the only things revealed since then we have already talked about at the beginning of this video because it was revealed from the last couple of days. Though I do feel the need to also point out that Korra's Gravios in the demo does have an attack called Bishaten Embers, and regular Bishaten doesn't use fire, so Blood Orange Bishaten seems highly likely, if not fully confirmed, just by the fact of that ability's existence. Final thing to talk about then really is the Calamity Elder Dragons, and this is a section that I would say might count as being spoilery for anyone who wants to experience Elder Dragons themselves in the games. It is a very unique experience this time around, but if you just want to know what has already been spread by Capcom, I'll go through it right now. Warning over, these spawn when fighting battles at night, and each region seems to have a different one. When they come into existence, the weather in the entire region will change. You have to go to their location, and worth mentioning as it hasn't come up so far, the movement in traversal is just way improved compared to previous stories games too, but once you reach the monster, you can fight the Elder Dragon, and it's a way more advanced fight than most of the other combat you'll do. Namielle is the most known one as it is the Elder of Azuria. It's in the demo, the first region, and she has the repel threshold, so you don't have to do her entire health bar in one go, and as a result of that, people actually have managed to defeat her in the demo by abusing status and Wyvern Soul Gauge, and confirm that her Monstie does exist in the game, and is unlocked by defeating her in this way. Beyond that, the second region of the game, called Canalta Timberland, seems to be the home of Narwa and Ibushi, the Elder Dragon pair from Monster Hunter Rise, and we've seen full gameplay footage of the Calamity Elder for the third region, the desert called Tarkwan, and the Elder here is Yamatsukami, who we've also seen as a feral monster in a story fight previously. That just about covers it for today, I think. Again, if you want to see the full Monstie and kinship list, we already have that video on the channel, so it felt redundant to have like a 10 to 12 minute section of this video that goes over that as well, so I point you over to that for that information. But aside from that, this is everything that is publicly known about Monster Hunter Stories 3 as of this point. I hope you've all enjoyed the video, and if there is anything else you think is worth mentioning for people who want to learn about the game that I didn't bring up in the video, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.